Hello, everybody, and welcome to Loren Live. I'm your host, Chris Gergen, and joining me tonight is the insubordinate one himself, Mr. Loren Culp. Loren, how are you this evening?
Doing good, Chris. Good to see you. Thank you all for joining me. Paula, Karen, Janelle, Lynn, Dan, Dennis, Sabrina. You guys are awesome. I know I didn't name everybody, but we'd be here all night.
So, Loren, we've got a bunch of good news to share with the folks tonight.
Yes.
Between an endorsement and we've got some events going on. And but before we get to all that, I wanted to play a game. I wanted to change it up a little bit tonight, Loren. And when I was deciding on a name for this segment, I wanted to call it Snopes because there's a bunch of rumors that are being said, and you know how people talk and they gossip and they do different things. And so
Yeah.
Snopes is supposed to be this website that validates whether or not things are true or not. And one of my staff members pointed out and said, well, Chris, you can't probably use that word Snopes because it's copyrighted and
I think it's
trademarked.
been used somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we can't call it Snopes. So considering the source of these rumors and gossip, I decided to call the segment tonight Dopes. Okay,
Dopes.
so we're not doing Snopes, we're calling it Dopes. Okay, so we got a segment tonight called Dopes. So Loren, we're going to go through these top 10 rumors or gossip or palace intrigue that are floating around, and you can tell the folks whether or not the claim is true or if it is false or partially true. I know the questions and I know the answers to these questions, so they'll probably all be false, but you can correct me if I'm wrong. So are you ready to play?
Yeah. What's the prize? Do I
You
need
get
to
to go to
say that's my final answer?
Yeah, and you get to go to Congress if you win.
Man, there's so much garbage. As everybody knows, I'm fairly new to politics, although I feel like a veteran now. But the dirtiness of it is just unbelievable.
It really
You
is.
remember all the crap in 2020, the fake video that
Oh
nobody
yeah.
claimed. Nobody
Yep.
claimed they made it, but it was made
Yeah.
by Republicans,
Yes, it
a
was.
competition. Yeah.
Yes.
They
Yep.
they are good people. Vote for them. We won't
Yep.
do anything bad when we're in office, but
It was actually multiple
dirty.
campaigns that colluded together to get you out.
Politics is just so
It
dirty.
is.
They,
It is.
even people that talk about being conservative and they'll do a good job in office. They're just man, so many of them are just dirty. But okay, let's go ahead with the rumors. What do you got?
All right, let's go. All right, round one of Dopes. All right. Loren Culp still lives in Republic, Washington. True or false?
That is false. I
That
live
is
in Moses
false.
Lake, Washington.
All right. Uh, round number two
I hope
of
they get
Dopes.
better.
They do get better. Loren Culp only moved to Moses Lake to run for Congress.
That's not true. I wouldn't have to move anywhere to run for Congress. Anyone in Washington State can run for Congress in any district in the state, and it's the same in every state in the union according to the Constitution. And anybody that says any different is misinformed. You do not have to live in the district that you're running in. Any resident of the state, per the
No,
Constitution, the founders wrote it in there. So no, we didn't move to Moses Lake just to run for Congress.
now,
We
Lauren,
moved
I
to Moses.
remember.
Go ahead.
Now, I remember a hot and dusty afternoon out in Omak, Washington last year, and we had a booth up there, and I was out there sweating my tail off, and you happened to be there shaking hands with the folks, and there was somebody that was
Oh
over
yes,
from Spokane. I know that you'll
he
remember
was
this
a
because
teacher.
he was a teacher, and he chased you all the way out to your car,
Yeah,
and
well, he followed me out there. And
yeah.
nobody chases me without getting some pushback. But yeah, we had a little bit of a debate in the booth in OMAC, and he was a high school teacher, taught history and math, I believe.
Yes.
And yeah, we debated it because he said that I needed to live in whatever district I'm running for Congress in, and I told him no, that's not true. The Constitution says that any resident of the state can run for Congress, period.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, we debated it back and forth, and I made a bet with him. I'm not a betting man usually, although I like to play a little bit of poker once in a while. But
Right.
I told him that if he lost this bet, he had to get a yard sign and put it in his yard.
Right.
He was clearly a liberal, and I knew he wouldn't want to do that. He agreed to that. He said, "Okay, you proved me wrong. Show me in the Constitution where it says that, and I will put a sign in my yard."
Yep.
And he followed me out to my car where I had the Constitution, because I think it was a little bit too hot for my jacket that day.
Yeah.
I usually carry it around with me, but I read it right to him where it said in there. And he said, well, he kind of looked really sheepish. And he said, okay, well, if I bring one of these yard signs home, my wife's going to kill me. And I let him off the hook.
Yeah.
But he went away educated, that's for sure.
Yes, he did. All right, round number 3 of dopes.
So not only did we move here after I retired from being a police chief to finish that
Yes,
on that question, but we're 4 hours closer to our kids and our grandkids as well.
Yeah,
and
there you go.
I campaigned down here in Moses Lake a lot, going
Yeah.
to the fairs and meet and greets and stuff like that, and fell in love with the area. Great fishing around here too.
All right, round 3 of dopes. Loren Culp is a high school dropout with no education. True or false?
Well, the left likes to use the term dropout, because it has a negative stigma tied to it, right? But when I was in junior high and high school, my dad owned a construction company, and every summer I worked with him in construction. I learned to clear land, operate a bulldozer and a backhoe, fall trees, and build houses, do foundations, pour driveways, stuff like that. And so by the time I was 17, I had a lot of real life experience already. And I felt like just being in a classroom was holding me back. So I got my GED with my parents' permission, and I went to work full time. And I'm 61 now. Can you believe that, man? How time flies when you're having fun.
61.
And I've been living on my own and paying my own way since I was 17 years old. And at 19, I decided to join the military. I joined the United States Army. And I went through the United States Army Heavy Equipment Operator School. And I was an honor graduate of my class. I also went through Drill Sergeant School. And I went through the Non-Commissioned Officers Academy in the 101st Airborne, where I was once again the honor graduate of my class. So sitting in a classroom wasn't my way of learning. And like I said, I felt like it was holding me back. I got my education in the best trade school in the world, and that's real life.
Yeah, and not to mention the fact that the Army wouldn't let you in if you didn't have any sort of high school education.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and that's something that we talked about extensively for, I don't know, 2 years on the campaign trail.
Yeah.
So all right, so that one is false. All right, round 4 of dopes. Loren Culp was a corrupt cop who trained his drug dog to alert on every single car so he could arrest people or innocent people for drug possession.
Yeah, that's one of the good ones right there.
Yeah,
and it makes me laugh. I had 2 canines as a police officer, Canine Isco and Canine Karma. Both of them were excellent dogs. Isco died unexpectedly, and then we got Canine Karma, and Karma was an excellent dog. He was a dual purpose dog. He was a a patrol dog, and a narcotics dog. And for those of you that don't know, a patrol dog is highly, highly trained. Well, narcotics dogs are too. But the patrol dog part is even more training. For a total of, I believe it was 16 weeks total for narcotics and patrol that canine handlers and their dogs have to go through to be a dual purpose team. And Canine Karma would track criminals. And the longest track that we did in training, I think it was 4 hours after a person left the road. We knew the direction of their travel from a witness. And 4 hours later, we showed up and tracked that person through the woods. Canine Karma was excellent. And then in the real world, I helped Ferry County locate, Ferry County Sheriff's Office, locate a man who had was wanted for felony assault. He had beaten his girlfriend. They lived way up in the hills, and beaten his girlfriend. It was nighttime, I think about 2:00 in the morning, and the deputies could not locate him. So they called me out. I went up there, and Canine Karma got this guy's scent, trailed him through the woods, and found him hiding. He didn't want to surrender, so Canine Karma took him into custody. With
Canine Karma ate him. No, I'm kidding. He didn't eat him.
But no, this comes from, the left-wing media loves to do articles on me, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know of any other candidate that the left-wing media is attacking. Do you?
No, not like you. You're special, Loren. You're everybody's
right.
Everybody's favorite punching bag.
They're afraid of having a constitutional conservative in office. That's all there is to it. So they hit me all the time. I can't wait to see what their next article is. I just smile whenever they do it. What was it? 3 times in the last month, Seattle Times has done a hit piece on me.
Yep.
So yeah, this rumor comes from a liberal rag. I don't even know where they're out of. But there was a lady who sued the Ferry County Sheriff's Office over a false arrest. And the lady.
Well, that was her claim. That's her
claim. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's still pending. I think it's been 3 years now.
Yeah.
And from what I've heard, that she has gone through a few attorneys because they quit because there's nothing to this case. So I'm looking for that to be dismissed here pretty quick. But I went to another Ferry County Sheriff's Office stop. The lady was already arrested for DUI. I walked Karma around the car. He alerted. And that was the extent of my involvement in that. So just so you guys know, if a dog alerts on a car, that doesn't mean that there's a trunk full of drugs in it. It means the dog smelled the odor of narcotics, whether they're in there or not. Like I told you earlier, Karma could track a human who walked through the woods 4 hours earlier. So their noses are really good. So if the person had drugs on them, had used drugs hours earlier, the odor is still going to be there, whether something's found or not. The dogs aren't trained to alert. They don't get the reward unless they alert on the odor of narcotics. And we know that through training. And Karma passed certification every year with the state of Washington. So, yeah. Okay, so that's false. Next.
Okay. All right. Number 5 on our new segment, Dopes. Loren Culp is the reason the Republican Party is so divided.
Are you making these up?
No, sir. These are things that I have heard from the field and that our volunteers have heard. This one in particular was from a special kind of dope. He's one of our opponents. I'm not going to name who he is, but he decided to come up to one of our volunteers up in Omak, not introduce himself, and be very aggressive with her and make this accusation that Loren Culp is the reason that the Republican Party is so divided.
That's what cowards do, right?
Yep,
When have you
absolutely.
seen him walk up to me and tell me that? Never.
No,
Yeah,
never.
wait till a young lady is alone at my table and go
Right,
pull that crap. Well, that tells
right.
you quite a bit right there.
Yep.
So he said that I'm the reason the Republican Party is divided.
Yes, is so
Okay.
divided.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he's buying into the false narrative of the Rhino Republicans that the Republican Party is divided. The Republican Party is not divided. There are a few people who are rhinos who don't believe in real Republican principles, which is God, family, and country, and the Constitution. Right? I've been Republican all my life. The Republican Party is not fractured; it's stronger than ever. All you have to do is look at the 2020 race when I ran for governor. The most votes for any Republican in the history of Washington State. That is because the Republican Party is strong. And I'm endorsed also. You might think about this. If I'm fracturing the Republican Party, why is the leader of the Republican Party, President Trump, endorsing me? It's not because it's divided and I'm not dividing it. It's stronger than ever.
Well,
Now, some rhinos might not like that. That's just tough. They'll just have to get over it.
okay. So that kind of dovetails into the seventh dopey thing that we've heard out there. So let me skip 6 and we'll go to 7 and then I'll go back to 6. So round 7 of dopes, Loren Culp is going to quit the Republican Party and run as an independent if he loses in the primary.
Not true.
It's not even possible. Not only is it not true, it's not even possible because Washington State is the top 2. It's a jungle primary state, and so there can't be 3 candidates in the general election. So it's impossible.
There's only 2. That's it. The primary decides.
That's it.
Yeah, no, that's not even. I mean, that is untrue, and it's stupid too. Whoever said that doesn't know what they're talking about.
That also came from the same dope that walked up to our volunteer in OMAC.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's affectionately known around here as Ricky Bobby. So
I've never heard that before. I like that.
All right. So
okay.
Loren Culp wasn't.
Yeah, and another thing, if I was dividing the Republican Party, would I have that in my possession? Would I have gotten that from President Trump?
Yeah, because you're going independent also.
As a speaker in Mar-a-Lago. All right, go ahead.
All right, number 6 on dopes. Loren Culp wasn't a good candidate for governor. His whole campaign was a gimmick.
I don't even know how to reply to that. I've already covered part of that. The most votes for any Republican in Washington State history. The biggest rallies that this state has ever seen for a political campaign. Are you kidding me?
Yep.
2,000 to 3,000 people at the rallies. Yeah, if that's dopey, okay.
Yep. All right, number 8 on dopes. And this one's serious, Loren, because this is actually accusing you of a crime. Loren Culp stole money from his governor's race just to pay his bills.
Right. Yeah. No, not true. Yeah. Yep. I'm sure that we have Bob Ferguson as the attorney general of this state.
Right.
I think that if I committed a crime, he would probably be all over me.
Well, and a lot of people may not know this, but the PDC, someone did file a complaint against us during the campaign, governor's campaign with the PDC. The PDC did a full investigation. We cooperated at every step because we didn't have anything to hide. And then at the end of it, there was no action to take because there was no guilt there to be had. Yep. So that's it there. Number 9 on dopes. Loren Culp just used his campaign to sell more books because you are a best-selling author. So apparently you're going through all of this hell and all of this stuff just so you can sell some more books and make $1.35 per book.
Right. Yeah. My opponents and the left, they hate it. They hate the fact that I wrote a book. In fact, I've
Right.
written 2 books, but they hate the fact that I wrote a book. Way before I was even thinking about running for politics, I wrote a book and just laid out what I think about the Constitution and our rights and the duty of public servants. I wrote all of that. When was that? 2 years? I think it was
I think
about
it
2
was
years before
yeah,
the election.
2018
Yeah,
is,
and
and then it came out in 2019, President's Day 2019.
I wrote it in December of 2018 is when I wrote that. That's right. After I stood up and said that I wasn't going to violate citizens' constitutional rights,
Right.
and ended up on the national news. They hate the fact that I have that book out.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you what, it's a great way to know what I was thinking before anybody even knew who the heck I was. But they hate it because it's an excellent way for people to see what I think, how I think, who I am.
Yep.
Way before I was even thinking about being a candidate. And I am proud of the fact that coming up here shortly, they are going to be available at meet and greets because the campaign has bought some books at wholesale from the publisher. I get not 1 cent of the money. Getting the information out is most important for me, and we're going to use them as a fundraiser.
Yeah. And all of that, by the way, for Ricky Bobby and anybody else that's watching tonight, it's already vetted through the FEC. We've already talked to our attorneys to make sure that everything is legit and on the up and up. We're going to use those books to get the information out to the folks and to raise money for the campaign. So according to Ricky Bobby and the dopes and the different people out there, you're a corrupt cop who wrote a book about the Constitution so people could understand about the Constitution, and you've got a corrupt drug dog that because the drug dog is corrupt, and
Right.
so the drug dog just nabs people at random because they smell funny, and this whole charade for the last 3 years is just a huge gimmick to divide the Republican Party, because they haven't, done anything of their own volition to bring any sort of division. And all this is just a big sham. That's pretty much what Ricky Bobby and some of our other opponents are trying to get everybody at home to believe.
Yeah, and you know what? They're just scrambling. They're not getting any traction. What else are they going to do besides make crap up?
Yeah.
It's the same thing that happened in 2020. But as far as the Republican Party goes, we created, we the people, along with my campaign and you, created the largest movement, conservative movement this state has ever seen.
Yep.
And the chairman of the Republican Party, we invited him, brought him to every rally he wanted to be at to take the stage and talk to the people that came to these rallies. So to say that I'm trying to divide the Republican Party, it's absolutely nonsense. That's the only narrative they're going to come up with for real.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. It's
and then
that's what it is. Desperation.
And then number 10 on dopes tonight, the last one, Loren Culp is pro-choice. Loren Culp is pro-choice.
Absolutely untrue. I am pro-life. I'm a Christian. I believe in life, and life begins at conception. If you stop a beating heart, beating human heart, you are committing murder.
Yep.
Period.
Amen. All right. So that's all we have on dopes for this evening.
Oh, that was fun. We should do this more often.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's dig a little bit into this great news you got today.
Oh, absolutely.
You got an endorsement. Why don't you tell the folks about that?
Yes, out of the blue. I had just gotten out of the shower and I wasn't even finished shaving, and got a phone call from the Veterans for America First organization, national organization, and they have endorsed me for Congress. So I'm very, very happy to have their endorsement. Veterans for America First, national organization, and I think probably down on the bottom of those pictures you're showing,
Yes, sir.
people will probably recognize that individual down at the bottom on the advisory board, Thomas Holman, former director of ICE.
Oh, there you go.
Great organization, Veterans for America First. So I'm very thankful to them for the endorsement for my run for Congress, and talked to Vlad Lemets earlier today, like I just said. Very good organization, and I'm proud to have the Veterans for America First endorsement.
There, we do have a comment that I think is worth sharing here. Someone here from the crowd asked, "Do you oppose the death penalty?"
I do not oppose the death penalty. No.
All right, that's not a rumor that I've heard. I haven't heard that you oppose it. So that was just a question from somebody in the audience tonight. You've got some events coming up, don't you? Why don't you share with the folks at home the different events?
Yeah, this Thursday night. That's the 7th. Yes. Thursday night, 6:30 to 8. I will be at Smulligan's Pizza and Barbecue right here in Moses Lake for a meet and greet. This Thursday, Smulligan's Pizza and Barbecue in Moses Lake. And then on April 9th, I will be at the Wenatchee Convention Center. There is a sportsman show in Wenatchee, and I will be there speaking and around the area at 11 to 12 Saturday. We're going to have a booth there for the whole event. I think that it's the whole weekend. Yeah, we'll have a booth there with signs and shirts and hats. Stop by, pick up some swag, and I'll be speaking around 11. I'll be there for at least an hour. And that is, again, Wenatchee at the convention center on the 9th.
We had some great events in Wenatchee.
Yes, we sure did.
Absolutely. Yeah. The Wenatchee area. We had some great events. Yep. A lot of really good people out there. A lot of enthusiasm in Wenatchee. Unfortunately, Wenatchee itself isn't in the 4th congressional district, but East Wenatchee, is right across the river.
Absolutely.
So, all right. And then
it's kind of funny how they cut up the districts, but
very strange. Yeah. So that's it on the upcoming events, correct?
Yep. No, I'm going to be in at the Franklin County Lincoln Day dinner.
Yes, you are
on the 9th in the evening, and that's from 5 to 8. It's going to be in Eltopia. Yeah. And the Franklin County Lincoln Day dinner. So you can go to the Franklin County Republican website and get all the particulars on that. Get tickets if you want to go. I'd love to see everybody out there. We're going to have a table with swag there as well. And Saturday is going to be a busy day. I'll be at the gun show in the morning, and then the Franklin County Republican Lincoln Day dinner that night.
Yep, that sounds good. Okay, Loren, any parting thoughts tonight? I'm glad that you enjoyed our new segment, Dopes. Any parting words for the folks at home?
I just want to encourage everybody. You know, there's a lot of bad things going on in our country right now. We've got a president that walks around like he doesn't know where he's at, and that was very evident today.
Very sad, actually.
Any video, I know it made me kind of sick to my stomach, actually, watching the video of him at the White House today. It's, I think I put out a tweet that his handlers and his wife should be tried and put in prison for elder abuse. It's very evident. Just watch. Yeah. You can find the video of what happened at the White House anywhere. It's sad. I feel bad for our country. but don't give up, because the cavalry is on its way. I've been in contact with some conservative Congress people, and looking forward to getting back in Washington, D.C. and giving them some backup after this
Yes.
next election.
And
So
we're going to have some.
we're
Go
going to
ahead,
turn
sorry.
this country around.
And we're gonna have some more details on some upcoming trips and upcoming events here within the next couple of weeks. There's some really great things that are coming down the pipe, ladies and gentlemen, that I know you're going to be really happy about. Really happy to hear. There is a big concern with everybody, not only in the Freedom Caucus, but a lot of conservatives around the country. By a lot, I mean, I don't know, maybe 99% of them, about voter fraud. And that's definitely going to be something on top of our mind, and taking actions to minimize that at the campaign level. But larger scale, ladies and gentlemen, you can be involved. You can be a poll watcher. I know in Washington State we mail in ballots, but at the end of the day, there is some accountability. There's an organization, Glenn Morgan runs an organization called We the Governed. If you haven't heard of it, you need to look it up. Glenn, in fact, I think Glenn is going to be speaking at the Franklin County Lincoln Day dinner.
Yeah.
Glenn is a fantastic patriot. He's a good man. He's not some wacko extremist. He's very even keeled and level-headed. And he's got some really good strategies and plans to hold the state of Washington accountable to run a clean race. And we're going to be bringing more details about that soon. So
don't give up. Don't ever give up. Always
don't
vote.
quit.
You know, I've heard a couple of people say, well, I'm not even voting anymore. No.
Yeah.
Vote. We have to vote. And I'm suggesting that people don't mail their ballot in. Wait till election day. Walk in and hand it in. Hit them with a flood of ballots right on election day to minimize risk of anything haywire. That's my suggestion. But pray often and don't give up the fight, because I'm not gonna. I will always continue to fight for everyone. So God bless you guys, and thank you for joining us tonight. We'll see you hopefully at these events. Take care.
Good night, everybody.